Hey guys, how's it going today? So I'm gonna be recording in a pretty angry mood today. It's been a while since I gave you an angry one. Just not. I'm not happy right now. Had one of those days where a lot of energy was expended for nothing. Dealing with people for nothing because of incompetence. Because people decided that they wanted to not do their own jobs properly. Um, I guess I want to express this and I want to share this and I might do this in the future whenever I get particularly fucking mad about something. I'll tell you about why I'm mad, and then I'll explain to you the situation that led up to it, and perhaps you can relate to it, this sort of anger. I know a lot of you schizoids out there don't get really angry all that much, maybe internally, but you don't express it often. Maybe some of it translates to sadness more than anger. In my case, hence the title of the channel, mine turns into fury of many types. So today, I was having some issues with my EDD card. I know many of you live in states and locations in which your unemployment due to this awesome COVID related situation is goes directly to your bank account. So if that's the case, good for you. But in California, that is not the case. In California, you get a fucking stupid card. And on that fucking stupid card, they give you your EDD money, your unemployment money. And unfortunately, no matter how much you look for a job right now, none of those jobs will compensate for the job loss that you had already received, and then a lot of those jobs are part-time because it's all they're offering anywhere. That, or they just don't call you back. My situation is pretty unique in the sense that this all started when I graduated, so I couldn't even get some kind of internship or anything for what I studied because everything is shut down. Everything is online, and they want people with experience. So, anyway, that's a different tangent. That's a different fucking thing. Today's situation that it has me in a tizzy, as someone in the 1950s might call it, has to do with Bank of America. So Bank of America is the card distributor or the card holder or the card whatever the fuck account California set up for us people is with Bank of America, and they give us this fucking card, and the card they throw money in it, and then we're supposed to use that card like a normal debit or, well, like a debit card, and that's it. Instead of it going to our actual bank accounts, in which it would be much easier to manage, it goes there. Why? Because of some kind of fucking contract between the state or something and EDD and Bank of America. Awesome. So something that I didn't help create is now affecting my life. What's fucking new, right? Anyway, so I had a while ago a fraud situation in which somebody took money out of my account via hacking or something, because apparently these accounts aren't quite as safe as the ones that are in the bank itself, like if you have an actual Bank of America account, because they don't give a fuck, because they're just getting subsidized or something via the government and the state. And anytime the state gets involved in anything involving the well-being of working class individuals and stuff, it all goes to shit. So, in this particular case, they sent me the money that I received, and I was especially glad for it because they added that additional $300 Biden bucks to the amount, and I could use the money at the moment. And I hate that I have to suck at the government's teat to survive, but it is necessary. I have a family. In any case, the money arrived as it should. Not before. I had to go through EDD multiple times and eventually get a hold of them to fix some computer-related problem that had nothing to do with me again. Nothing I did on my end. Something they fucked up, and so I had to go in and waste all my time trying to get it going. And I fixed that, and then got my money. And it's like, okay, good. And then I go to withdraw my money, and hilariously, the reason I'm withdrawing all the money at this point is because I don't want it to get stolen again like it did in the previous card. So they had sent me a new card, and so I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to use this new card, and I'm going to get the money out and then deposit it into my regular bank account so that I don't have to deal with any of that bullshit happening again. So I go to a fucking ATM and I put my card in, and then they can't give me my money. It says technical error of some sort. And I'm thinking, okay, this is something that should be easily fixed somehow. I will go tomorrow to the branch. I even went to a second branch that same day because I needed the money to get it out, but whatever, didn't work. So then I went to a different branch today in order to go in person to have this problem fixed. I go in, I explain to them the situation calmly, the entire time masking, playing it up, using charisma and the such, because, that's what you have to do to get things done. You need to mask it up, because if you talk to them in some weird monotone way, or some way that, makes them perceive you as rude, they might not give you the service that you need. So I played it up, I talked to them, and they tried to run my card, and the card didn't work. And I was like, okay, so what do I do? Call the number on the back of the card. So I'm like, shit. So I have to call this number that I called last time because of the same fucking problem with the fraud. So, and that takes a while to get through sometimes, or they hold for a while, whatever the fuck happens. It's just frustrating, right? So then you're on the phone dealing with a bunch of normies trying to explain to you that they're sorry for you and that they wish you could help more and blah blah blah, and it's their job. They don't care. I don't want to hear that stuff. Just tell me you can or you can't. I don't care about all those things in between. I know that's what most people like to hear. It calms them and makes them feel better or whatever. It doesn't do anything for me. So it just aggravates me even more. I'm sure you can relate, especially if you're schizoid. Those platitudes are frustrating. They don't do anything. They're just a waste of time because you want to get to the point. Anyway, so then I call, and then they say, okay, well, you have it fixed. Your card is now unlocked. It must have locked because you tried to take out $1,100, and you can only take out $1,000 out of that ATM. And I'm like, okay, well, nobody ever told me that. That's cool. So I can't take out more than $1,000 at a time at an ATM. No, it locks the card. And I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate your help. Thank you for unlocking it. I'm going to go back in line now and get my money out that I need to pay my rent and survive. And I'm like, okay. So then I get in line, and then I call I get transferred to the claims department, and I'm thinking, okay, cool. I'm just going to fix this claim thing because they still haven't gotten back to me about that $160 they stole from me. And so now I would like to, see that money. So what's going on with that? Because they told me they were going to put something in, and nothing shut up, and nothing's happened. And my fucking music stopped for some fucking godly reason. Thank you. Anyway, so then, I hope you enjoy black metal. If you don't, oh well, it calms me because I'm fucking mad. Okay, so then I got a hold of somebody, and I was at the bank teller, and I was going to talk to them to get the money out, and at the same time I was trying to deal with that claim situation with that money. I called them. The last person apparently didn't put in the claim correctly, so they had to redo it, and I have to wait 45 fucking days for a letter in which they're going to do research to find out if I'm bullshitting or not about my $160. Fucking stupid. Okay, so all the stuff beyond my control, right, so far. And I'm thinking, okay, I get to the teller while I'm on the phone with this person about the claim, and they tell me, oh, your card's declined. It didn't work. And I'm thinking, that motherfucker I just talked to told me it worked. Why isn't it working now? Okay, cool. So then the claims person transfers me back over to the risk department, which is the department in which they help you with this kind of shit. The security or whatever. And then it goes back to them, and I tell them the situation. I explain, I was told it works now. Why isn't it working? And they're like, oh, they must have done something wrong. I'm going to fix it for you. Now it should work. It should be good now. I'm like, cool. It should fucking work. Yay. So I can get my fucking chump change to survive. Neat. Anyway. So, in California, $1,000 is chump change. If you live in another state, I'm sure it's a lot of money. Not in California. It's not that much money. At fucking all. With the way rent is and everything. Anyway. So, not just rent. It's just everything. Just the costs. Just the living costs in California are ridiculous. They're crazy. And honestly, I'm getting a pretty good deal where I'm living at right now. And I see how much people pay for some of these other locations, and I'm like, wow, that's fucking nuts. But anyway, that's enough about that. So then that guy is like, okay, fixed, it's all good. You can get your money out now. But by this time, I'm out of the line again, and now there's a big fucking line, and I want to get in line again. And I told him, okay, can I use the goddamn ATM, please? And I didn't say it like that because I was trying to remain my composure. And that's the most frustrating part, is that you try to contain yourself. You try to keep your composure, because what do they say? Honey attracts more flies than vinegar, or whatever the fuck it is. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then I get transferred over again because I tell them that my card was declined again, and so they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me transfer you back to the risk department." So I get another person. The person is like, "All clear, all good." Another person's like, "All fixed." Like I'd said, sorry, I think I backtracked a little because I got distracted. Tangents, and so I got off, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to an ATM now. And they told me it should work. And so I waited like an hour or like 20 minutes, an hour, crazy, like 20, 30 minutes. And then I get to another ATM, and I try to pull the money out. And it says, nope, no money. You can't get it out. I check my account on the app, it says I have money. Okay, I'm like, all right, what the fuck's going on? This is aggravating. This is my entire day wasted, considering that my child woke me up at 6:30 a.m. this morning, and I haven't slept since then. My sleep was shit, and I had to skip on any nap that I could have taken in order to take care of this problem. So as you can imagine, the irritability has increased significantly because of some of these factors. So I have to call again and get a hold of somebody. And then that person, I tell them a whole story again. And then that person's like, well, I can't help you. I have to transfer you to the risk department. I'm like, okay, wonderful. Transfer me, for the love of God. And then they transfer me to the claims department for some ungodly reason. And I have to tell them my fucking story. And then the claims department's like, oh, sorry, we don't handle that. And I'm like, why the fuck did he transfer me to the claims department? The whole point was to transfer me to the risk department. Oh, I'm sorry, my apologies. I feel so bad for you, blah, 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 which, just enrages you more because, they don't give a shit. They're just doing their job. And then you feel stupid for getting mad at them because it's not their fucking fault. So you have no one to get angry at. And you keep having to mask and deal with these fucking people, so it makes your fucking personality disorder related traits and shit flare up. Start getting a headache, start getting a fucking migraine, So then it moves on to a different thing in which I now go back to the risk department, and I'm talking to them, and I tell them, okay, what's going on? Like, why isn't this working? And come to find out, this entire time, my card wasn't locked because I had tried to take $1,100 out of the ATM. No, it had nothing to do with any of that. It was locked because at some point or another, the card itself became, suspended because at some merchant that I went to, at some point, with that card, had a breach. And because of that breach, that data breach, they shut my card down for my security and safety. But have absolutely no methods or manner of informing me of this. There's no text message. They have my phone number. There's no email. They have my email. Nothing showed up at my ability to, intake information. Nothing appeared to tell me this. And I'm going around dealing with this fucking problem the entire day. None of which I have any control over. And everyone I spoke to couldn't help me. And the people that should have been able to help me fucked it. Twice. They didn't catch this. Twice. I wasted hours of time. I can't deal with it. Because then this is what happens. And I don't know if your mind works or functions in a similar way. If it doesn't, I apologize for these rambles. But no, I don't give a fuck. I'm mad. Anyway, so I'm trying not to scream at the top of my lungs because, my family's home and everything. It's just... Okay, so the reason I think my angst and such just flares up so much and it increases significantly is because the way my brain works is it starts tapping into the things in relation to the said event, what's caused my dilemma. So then I start thinking about California, and I start thinking about this situation between Bank of America and California and why it has to exist. And then I start thinking about the ineptitude of legislative work. I start thinking about the ineptitude of government and the state and state employees and everything that has to do with that, and the way it's set up to basically make people that work for the state as lazy as humanly fucking possible, And some of them not lazy, but actually more opportunistic, because doing your job incorrectly actually helps you, especially if you're in the management positions. And especially if you're looking to receive more money and funding for your particular job. So I started thinking about that. And I started thinking about everything going on. I started thinking about how that's connected to this and that and corruption. And so it just spirals. The anger just spirals out of control sometimes. It gets really, really fucking bad. Talking like this kind of calms me down a little bit. And I don't know if there's any other schizoids out there that deal with anger, but I do. And it's frustrating because anger makes me feel weak and pathetic, because I should be able to have control over these, petty human emotions. That's how this feels. I'm not saying that's the case. That's not the reality of the situation. I have to accept my emotions. I have to accept this anger as being part of me. But I think it's that conflict between my mind, or within my mind, between wanting to express my emotions or feel them and hating the fact that I have any, because they are intrusive and uncomfortable and confusing. So, yeah, that's what happened today. And I'd like to hear from you guys, be it Twitter or on the comment section or whatever. By the way, like it, subscribe. It helps the channel, it helps it grow. In any case, if you could do those things, I'd like to hear from you about times where your anger or sadness might have spiraled out of control a little bit, because of that same dilemma, especially if you're schizoid, because of that same situation of not knowing how to handle or deal with a certain set of emotions. Maybe even happiness triggers this in you, but tell me about a time where you had a flood of emotion and how it becomes really difficult to manage because it makes you uncomfortable, but at the same time you're mad. So like, I'm mad, but it makes me uncomfortable that I'm this mad, and then it makes me even more uncomfortable because then I'm irritable to people I don't want to be mad at, and then I see it as weakness, and it's frustrating. It's confusing. It's very confusing. I think most people, when they get angry, they feel righteous in their anger. I don't like the way this particular anger feels. But I mean, the indignation itself is justified in my belief, but the level of anger that exudes in me when these sort of events occur, I feel it might be a bit too much. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe this is the appropriate amount of anger. You tell me. Give me your opinion. Why not? Also, on a side note, I'm developing the whole Discord thing. I'm having someone actually help me, a very, very nice person that's a subber to this channel. Is helping me with various things. I have other people offering help, too, with the Discord situation. And if things go through like that, that'd be great. We could start building up this little community over time. Because, honestly, I don't think I would have gone in this direction if it weren't for the many of you who have emailed or contacted me telling me that I should do this, that this is a good thing. This is something good for us to have some kind of weird antisocial community, which is just a paradox in my view, but it's kind of a fun paradox. Thank you for listening, and just leave comments, likes, so on and so forth. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on minds.com. Wherever the fuck you want to follow me, just follow me on there. Once the Discord situation's up, I'll give you guys my Discord, and I'll start, I can start inviting people and such to the link, or I can put a link up, and so on and so forth. But it might take some time. I'm not sure when all that's going to be done, because I want it to be nice and good for everybody, and have somebody helping me do that. Okay. Have a whatever fucking day you want to have. Goodbye.